In this video, we'll be taking apart the 8849 Tank Mini 1 by Unihertz. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you subscribe and click on the notification bell so you'll be notified once I upload a new video. And if you need any tools, there are links in the description. As always, to start off, the SIM tray needs to be removed. Here's a better look at the SIM tray. Now there are 8 T5 or Torx 5 screws that have to be removed. Here's a look at the strong plastic rubberized back cover with the brushed aluminum back plate. The glass camera bezel can be replaced by applying heat and gently prying it off, so you don't need to take apart the phone to replace that. There are now 7 Phillips screws that have to be removed. This flex cable now needs to be separated from the board. Here's a look at the secondary board. Three more Phillips screws need to be removed. There are some antenna lines drawn on this top plastic cover, which are the light gray color lines. The same goes for the bottom speaker assembly. And there's a rubber gasket around the opening of the speaker. We can also see the vibrator motor located on the bottom corner. We have another 6 Phillips screws that have to be removed. Here's a look at the laser rangefinder. There are 2 additional Phillips screws that have to be removed. Now the camera assembly needs to be separated from the mid plate in order to remove the mid plate. Here's a better look at the mid plate. The battery cable can now be disconnected, and the battery can be removed. Here's a closer look at the 5800 mAh battery, which is basically two 2900 mAh batteries put together to operate as one. This is the large camping light, as well as the NFC antenna bordering it on the back. This is the USB-C charging port, and there's a rubber gasket around the charger port itself. Here's a look at the headphone jack. This is the main 100 megapixel camera, which does not have OIS or optical image stabilization. On this flex cable there are 2 microphones for the back of the phone, the dual LED flash, as well as the LED flashing emergency lights for the back of the phone. And here's the 32 megapixel front facing camera and the proximity sensor. There are 2 Phillips screws that are holding down the main board. So looking at the main board, we can see some graphite film over the shields to help transfer heat, the SIM and memory card reader, and the infrared or IR blaster on the top corner. Once the graphite film and copper tape have been peeled back, we can see thermal pads which sit on top of the processor and RAM. And here's a look at the back side of the board. So once the main board has been removed, we can see the flex cable for the screen, which is routed through an opening in the midframe. If you needed to replace the screen, at this point all you'd have to do is heat up the front of the phone where the screen is to loosen up the adhesive underneath. You then pry the old screen off, apply new adhesive, reapply the new screen, making sure you run the flex cable back to the opening in the midframe, and reassemble the phone. These flex cables on the sides of the phone are for the buttons on the sides, and if you wanted to replace those, there are T5 or Torx 5 screws on either side of the phone, which are holding on the aluminum plates or covers on the sides which you would need to remove to give you access to replacing those buttons. Also keep in mind some of those have cure-in-place gaskets, so you need to use a razor blade or an X-Acto knife to cut out those gaskets to be able to remove those. The top earpiece speaker, which is located here, as well as the primary microphone located on the bottom corner, are both held in place with cure-in-place gaskets. So in order to replace those, again you would have to cut those cure-in-place gaskets to be able to pull them out. There is also another thermal pad on the frame, which will help transfer heat away from the motherboard. For the repairability score on this phone, I give it an 8 out of 10. Now it's time to put the phone back together. Once everything's back in place, turn over the phone, power it on, and you're done. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.